Okay, same way with the money also. Money is also a means, but not an end by itself. Money is for doing noble karmas. That is why Adi Shankaracharya says, Dhanam Dharmartham. So you should earn money. Nobody says you should not earn money. And as I was telling you, some people have this knack of making more money. And they should make it, but they should use it for the Loka Kalyana. Doing that, what happens? The mind is purified. There is no greed anymore. There is no trishna. That is what Adi Shankaracharya is telling, don't have trishna for the money, but on the money. He does not say money is bad. Okay, money is as important in our life as any other thing also. But money can never give happiness or peace directly. That's all he is telling. So we saw the limitation of aparavidya in the first verse, limitation of money, wealth in the second verse. Now in this third verse, Adi Shankaracharya is showing limitation of pleasures also, bhoga. So we'll see the third verse here now. Naristanabharanabhidesham Naristanabharanabhidesham Drishtva magamohavesham Drishtva magamohavesham ये तन्मांसवसादिविकारम् ये तन्मांसवसादिविकारम् मनसि विचिन्तय वारं वारम् मनसि विचिन्तय वारं वारम् नारीस्तनभरनाभिदेशम् दृष्ट्वा मागामोहावेशम् ये तन्मांसवसादिविकारम् मनसि विचिन्तय वारं वारम् भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. So the translation of this verse goes, do not get attracted on seeing the parts of woman's anatomy under the influence of delusion, as these are made up of skin, flesh, and similar substances. Deliberate on this again and again in your mind. So of the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, in the previous verse, Artha, that Purushartha was dealt, and here Kama is taken up. So what is Kama? Kama means desire. Kama doesn't mean just lust itself. Kama means desire. So there are two kinds of desires that we have. One is an acquired desire that is called Agantuka Kama. And the second one is the natural desire, Swabhavika Kama. Okay. And this Agantuka Kama, it varies from individual to individual. It is not universal. It depends on the place, the time, the personality of the individual. For example, take the food, the dress, or the music. So there is, different, we like something like, we like Mexican food. Okay, that is not universal. It is not that everyone likes Mexican food or the North Indian food or the South Indian food. Okay, so this varies from individual to individual. The same way with the dress we wear, and also the music, Carnatic music, Hindustani music, rap music. Somebody likes to chant Hanuman Chalisa in a rap way. Some like MS Subbalakshmi wants to chant the Hanuman Chalisa in a devotional way. So this way, the desire varies from individual to individual. Sometimes we see this on even in our own house also. There are differences. Some like tea, some like coffee, right? And these desires even may change also with time. So from tea to coffee, and coffee to Coke or whatever it is. And same thing like, vegetarian to non-vegetarian, or the other way around, non-vegetarian to vegetarian. So this way, the what you call this acquired kamas, agantuka kamas, change from individual to individual. But when it comes to the second kind of kama desire, that is swabhavika kama. The swabhavika kama is a instinctive or the natural desires, which is common universally. And what are those? Some of the examples are the health, the security, the happiness. All these are common universally. So this is known as swabhavika kama. Okay. And these are not acquired, but these are something that is natural to everyone. So among these various swabhavika kamas, that natural attract, the one of the strongest desire that we have is attraction to the opposite sex, like what you call stri purusha paraspara kama. That is attraction between man and woman. This is what we call swabhavika kama. It is there in everyone. Okay, very rarely there are people who do not have that one. So here Adi Shankaracharya is telling, don't get into this trap of delusion. So don't fall prey for this one. That's why he says maga moha vesham, moha avesham. Avesham means it's like a trap. It is like an infatuation, fascination. Okay, so don't come to that. So ma aga, that he says, don't fall prey for that one. Learn to use your discrimination and handle this desire properly also. So when do you get infatuated? Adi Shankaracharya says, Nari Stanabhara Nabi Desham Drushtva. Drushtva, having seen this seductive female form, the bosom, stana, and also Nabhi Desham, navel of a woman. So one may say, well, it is easy to say it, you don't get infatuated, but how to make the mind free from this infatuation? So Adi Shankaracharya says, Manasi Vichintaya. So think in your own mind, what is this beauty? Okay, so he doesn't say Chintaya. Actually, he says Vichintaya. That means Visheshena Chintaya. That means nicely think about it. Seriously think about it. And what is this beautiful body? And so when you think about it, then you will see what it is. Yetan mansa vasadi vikaram. So what you say, this beautiful body, it is just a vikara. What is vikara? Modification. Modification of mansa, that is flesh, vasa, that is fat, adi, etc. So this adi includes the blood, the bone, marrow, anything, that is, this body is made up of. But it is beautifully packaged. Therefore, it is attractive. That's all. If you dissect the body, take the body part by part, not a single part of this body is attractive. So human body, that we get so much attracted, that mind goes looking for that one, is actually, it's just a modification. It is a vikara. It is flesh, bone, the blood, all, even filth. Everything is packaged so well, it appears very attractive from the outside. But then we look at the content, then what it is nothing but filth. Gurudev would say this body is but a moving toilet. So it is filled with filth only. So see, we see the man's skeleton or a woman's skeleton, there is no difference at all. But on top of the skeleton, all these muscles, the blood, the nerves, everything, that is covered, and also with this elastic skin, that beautiful skin, that makes it attractive. So because why this feels attractive? Because of Shobhana Adhyasa. So because man keeps thinking that, of the pleasures, and he forgets Bhagavan. So what is this Shobhana Adhyasa? I'm sure most of you know about this one, but I thought I will just mention one sentence about that one. See, to get attracted to anything, what we do is we superimpose three ideas on the object. One is Sukha Adhyasa. That means we superimpose that the object will give me Sukha, happiness. And the second one is Shobhana Adhyasa. So we superimpose the beauty on that object. And the third one is Satyatva. And we superimpose this is real. Okay, so these three ideas are actually just ideas in our head only, and it is actually illusory perceptions only. It is not true. Adi Shankaracharya says, so don't get deluded seeing this beautiful feminine form. And this fascination for the opposite sex, will not go away very easily. So Adi Shankaracharya is not telling here to suppress your feelings, because suppression will only result in the distortion of the mind. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Vasana for sex is so strong, so one should think of the opposite. I had mentioned it to you before, what you call Pratipaksha Bhavana. When you see the goodness of one thing, you should also think about the other side of it. Okay, so it is like seeing both sides of the coin. Then you will understand completely. But only we see one side, we get attracted to it, but we don't think about the other side, which actually causes sorrow to us. So here, that is what Adi Shankaracharya is telling, that use that Pratipaksha Bhavana, the opposite standpoint for our general view. Okay, then you will understand what is the reality is. Then only the mind will feel peace also, slowly. So here, what Adi Shankaracharya is telling, what is this body made of? Whether it is a man's body or a woman's body, it is the same. It is made of food that we eat. It is Annamaya Kosha. And seeing this body from outside, don't get attracted, and see the other side also. Then the delusion will go away. So, Manasi Vichintaya Varam. Think like that. And in your mind, Varam, again and again. Because if you think for one time and then forget about it, it is not going to stay in our mind. Okay, so again and again you have to think about this, what is this nature of attraction? Then, you will see the reality here. So all these things are actually called a moha avesham. It is only our illusory perceptions only, thinking this world is giving us happiness, and here the woman is taken here. So this cultivation of dispassion is very, very essential if we are seeking self-knowledge. Unless one turns away from the path of this pleasure, what we call prayers, one cannot gain the shreyas, the good here. So Guruji says, then what is it that you should think? So Manasivi Chintaya, what you should think? He says, think about this body. What is it that makes it vibrant? Because we don't have love for a dead body. We want to get rid of the dead body. But a body that is alive, vibrant, we fall in love with it. So pay attention to that life factor. That is Chintaya. That's what Guruji says for this, what we should be thinking about it. See, here Adi Shankaracharya is not denouncing a woman or her beauty. What he's saying is this passionate desire for flesh of a woman actually causes great harm to a man. The same way it is true for the woman also. Okay, if she has sensual desire for the opposite sex, okay, then she is also gets harmed by that one. So if a man and woman consider other as a what you call a tool for enjoyment, then both man and woman both are degrading themselves or each other also. So when we are possessed by lust, we uh, cease to see our real nature, real truth here. We have seen many, history lessons. We have seen that because of a woman, so many wars were also fought. And that was not bringing just a human being, but the whole empire also came down, that gets destroyed because of one fascination towards a woman. In Mahabharata also, we have seen Pandu. He was cursed that, the moment he touches a woman with lusty feelings, he is going to die. But still, even though he was aware of that one, because of this moha, okay, he embraces Madri and he invites his own death. So this attraction is that strong. So all this happens because of lack of vichara. That is why Adi Shankaracharya says again and again, varam varam manasi vichintaya. Think of this one here. See, when it comes to human beings and animals, there is not a whole lot of difference, okay, in certain aspects. But then there is a lot of difference also. So there is a shloka that says, Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha samana metat pashubhihi naranam. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha dharmena hinaha pashubhi samanaha. So, ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha. Eating, sleep, fear, and sex. Samana metat pashubhi narana. So, these habits are common between the human beings and the animals. So, what is it that makes us separate? Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. It is the dharma which is the special quality of human beings, and dharmena hinaha pashubhis samanaha. And without the dharma, even the human beings are equal to animals only. So here when we say ahara, so that is need to appease our hunger, satiate our hunger. Nidra, the need for sleep. Bhaya, the need for protection, protecting ourselves. And maithuna, the need for self-gratification. These are all natural instincts, okay, that are present in animals as well as human beings also. And animals exhaust their lives in fulfilling all these basic instincts. These are swabhavika desires, okay. But one thing I have to mention here is, see, the animals, if you see, they go into heat at certain times of their lives. And only during that time, they have the maithunam, desire for sex. But human being is one, he doesn't have any time or any place or anything. So that is the reason he says only dharma is the one that differentiates us. And we should remember that one. So that's why it says the human being has something that sets him apart from the animals, and that is dharma. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. And without the dharma, a human being is also equal to an animal only. When we read all these things, we might think, oh God, Adi Shankaracharya is so much against women. No, it is not true. Our Shastras are also not against women. Shastra very, very clearly says, Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Yatraitastu na pujyante sarvas tatra apalaha kriyaha. So, where a woman is worshipped, where the women are given respect, there the gods also revel there. Gods take delight in that house. And where they are not honored, all actions, all the karmas, apalaha, no matter how noble it may be, it remains unfruitful. It's just a waste. So even this sense gratification is actually a tremendous waste of our energy also. So that's the reason it needs to be conserved, and that conserved energy should be redirected towards something positive. So like something like self-development. But in all our culture from a very, very long time, even the time of rishis, in the woman's body has been used as a symbol for lust. Today we are bombarded with commercials where a woman's body is at the front to sell the products. Even the shaving cream, a woman has become a commercial product. DVG, that is, he's one of the Kannada author, beautiful, he is no more, and he has written Mankutimana Kagga. It is like Bhagavad Gita in simple verses, but it is not regular Bhagavad Gita, but the essence that he brings it up in Mankutimana Kagga. That DVG, in that Mankutimana Kagga, he has written, ಅನ್ನದಾತುರಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಚಿನ್ನದಾತುರ ತೀಕ್ಷ್ಣ ಚಿನ್ನದಾತುರಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಒಲವು. What does it mean? Greater than the craving for food, ಅನ್ನದಾತುರಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಚಿನ್ನದಾತುರ ತೀಕ್ಷ್ಣ, is more than this craving for food is craving for gold. And ಚಿನ್ನದಾತುರಕ್ಕಿಂತ stronger than this craving for gold is ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಒಲವು, the attachment, the lust, the love between man and woman. So this feeling is very, very strong. That is why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he tells the devotees, slowly get rid of Kamini and Kanchana, woman and gold. Why? Because it is an obstruction for our God realization. Adi Shankaracharya actually can say, this particular verse, he is telling, but anybody who wants to become a monk, okay, they should consider this shloka, and they should consider a woman is nothing but a modification of flesh. You can see even in Swaminarayan sadhus, we might say, this was the saints of, not saints, the swamis of Swaminarayan followers, they don't want to come near the woman. And what do they think? A woman gave birth to them and all this. We talk because we don't like that. There is likes and dislikes. But if you really look at it, why there is a rule like that? Because it is like, fire. So fire will burn you. But if you still want to go and touch it, let me see if it is going to burn me or not, then you're playing with the fire. Same with the Swaminarayan Swamis. They don't want to play. They don't want to expose themselves to see if they're strong or not. It is better to keep away. So that strong attraction is there between man and woman. Swami Aparajitanandaji mentions 6 defects that you find when you analyze this sexual pleasure. And what are they? 1, Happiness through sex is limited. It is not permanent, and it is limited also. Time-wise limitation is there. You cannot be happy all the time with you cannot have sex all the time, 24 hours. Desires are never satisfied completely. There is always that I want more, I want more. Health is ruined. Say, Bhartruhari, in one of the shloka, he says, Bhoge Roga Bayam. So with the Bhoga, there's always fear of disease also. Even in Kathopanishad, Nachiketa says, Sarvendriyana Jarayanti Tejaha. So all these senses, lose their effectiveness with the lustful desires. And we become, this fifth one is, we become a slave of our mind. And the sixth is, intellect is crippled. When you're so much thinking about these lusty feelings, your intellect doesn't think properly. So intellect is crippled. So intellectually, we must understand the limitations of this sexual pleasure, but it becomes very, very hard to control, because in this sexual pleasure, all the five sense organs senses are involved. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. I don't have to go into detail, and you can think about that. So the attraction between man and woman is natural. As I said, it is a swabhavika. But what is the reason that Bhagavan has put this in us? What is the uddesha? What is the motive for this one? This is to continue the lineage, but not for satisfying our lust. When this uddesha we forget, we come under moha, and then we forget Bhagavan only. So in Taitra Upanishad, it is said, the guru is giving the students going home advice. And there he says, Prajatantum ma vyavacchetsihi. That is, enter the householder's life and see that the line of progeny is not cut off. Okay, so our Shastra allows that, but we have to have enough control over that. See, Bhagavan, in nature also, if you see male and female flowers. So can the male flower get attracted to female flower and run to a female flower? No. But at the same time, for the fruits to form, for the seeds to form, they need to come together. And what does Bhagavan do? He sends the bees. So the bees goes from one flower to the other flower, and it carries the pollen grains and fertilizes the female flower, and a fruit is formed. So Bhagavan has taken care of everything, but we don't understand how much is good and how much is too much. So, and there is another example I want to give you why Bhagavan, has put this desire is, there is a story in the Puranas. Brahmaji, he created Manasa Putras, that is mind-born children. For what? To populate the earth. But it just so happened, Narada Muni, who is also a mind-born of Brahmaji, he met his brothers, younger brothers. So he asked, where are you all going? So they said, well, we are going to the earth because our father wants us to populate the earth. So we are going. So Narada Muni told those his brothers, why are you going to the earth? You will get stuck in that samsara. And then to get out of the samsara, you have to do the tapas, meditation and all that. So instead of doing that, why don't you just go and meditate right now and realize who you are? So the brothers liked that. So they went and for the tapas. And here Brahmaji is looking, where are the children? And Narada Muni said, oh, they went to realize themselves. So Brahmaji got angry with Narada Muni and he said, that from now on, you are not going to talk to your younger brothers. Then he created more Manasaputras, and that is how the earth became populated with his children. So here, what is Adi Shankaracharya is telling is, just like hoarding the wealth was condemned in the second verse, here the advice is not to indulge in sensual pleasures, but have control over that one. Okay. And anything excessive will create a bondage and agitation and sorrow also. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yuktahara viharasya, Yukta chestasya karmasu, Yukta swapnava bodhasya, Yogo bhavati dukkha. So, have all the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, work, in everything, have moderation. Yukta, so you don't give up, but at the same time, know how much to get involved also. See, in Ramayana, we have heard that King Dasharatha did the Putra Kameshti Yaga, right? And for that, he needed a sage who was a great brahmachari, who is a great brahmachari. And whom did he went and asked for help? It was sage Rishyashringa. Actually, sage Rishyashringa was his son-in-law, because Dasharatha had a daughter from Kausalya. Her name was Shanta. Shanta's husband was Rishyashringa, and Shanta was given up in adoption to another king, a relative king. And let me not go into detail in those things. Why I'm telling you about Rishyashringa here is, Rishyashringa, though he was married, he was considered as a great brahmachari. And Rishyashringa came to do that Putra Kameshti Yaga, and it was successful also. Now you might say, well, he was married, how can you call him a brahmachari? See, our Shastras permit sex on particular days only. And when this is followed strictly, then that man is considered as a brahmachari, because he has total control over his senses. So you can be married and still be a brahmachari. So here Bhagavan is telling, we have to strive to know Bhagavan here. Okay, that's why I always, in the beginning itself, I said, after each shloka is over, we have to chant Bhaja Govindam to stress why this whole Bhaja Govindam was composed. Because seeking Bhagavan is very, very important. So when there is life, we should try to make the best out of that. And we should strive to know that truth also. And that is the reason we have this human body also. See, that knowing, how does that knowing happens? Only by praising that Lord. Stuti, what we call. So what is the connection between praising the Lord and then knowing? See, in Bhagavad Gita also, there are so many virtues that Lord Krishna mentions. Why? When we develop those virtues, we become that. So when we do the stuti of Bhagavan, when we know the greatness, the quality of Bhagavan, and more we sing about it, the more we think about it, we also become that one. So that is how you know Bhagavan also. That is why here, Bhaja Govindam. This Bhaja Govindam, why? By seeking Bhagavan, we will get this control over our body, control over these feelings, this control over this attraction. So that is the reason Adi Shankaracharya is telling Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Only with the help of Bhagavan alone we can control. When we try to do on our own, human effort is not enough. We need the blessings and grace of Bhagavan also in these very important aspects of our life. See, I keep quoting Bhartruhari. His life is a great example for this verse also. Bhartruhari was a king. He was ruling Ujjain. And he was a very wise king, and he loved his people also. And at the same time, he always, towards karma, the desire and all that. It is said that he had 100 wives also. So when he was in romance and love and all, he has written 100 shatakam on the Shrungara. So that is known as Shrungara Shatakam. But afterwards, he wrote Niti Shatakam and Vairagya Shatakam. When? I will tell you the story. See, Bhartruhari was so much immersed with romance and sex, he did not see what was going on in his own Antapura. He had great love for one of his young wife. Her name was Pingala. And this Pingala was very beautiful and very, very charming. And once, actually, Bhartruhari's brother, who is Vikramaditya, he complained to Bhartruhari saying that, Pingala is not doing good, okay? She has fallen in love with other person. So you should send her away. When Pingala came to know, she manipulated Bhartruhari and she made sure that Vikramaditya was sent out of the Ujjain. And one day, a yogi came to the court and he brought a fruit. In some places it says mango, and some places it says an apple. Okay, it doesn't matter. He brought a fruit. And he told the king, I have brought this for you because you are a great king. Okay, and whoever eats this fruit, they will have the longevity and they will live youthful also. They stay youthful also. But the king did not eat that. He said, if I give it to Pingala, she will be always youth and energetic, and I can enjoy her more. So he goes and gives it to Pingala. And he tells, you please eat this. This is not a regular fruit. It is a magical fruit. Pingala smiles and he says, okay, I will eat it later. And what does she do with that fruit? She gives that one to the charioteer. That is Bhartruhari's charioteer, because she was in love with him. And she says, oh, my charioteer should be strong and young, and he should love me. And charioteer says, okay, I will eat that. And he gives it to a prostitute that he was in love with. And this prostitute takes that fruit and she thinks, what is the use of me living long and having this energy and all that? Our king is so great. He loves all our people, and I should give this to the king so that our kingdom will be always joyous and he can eat this one. So she takes it to the king. The king sees this one and says, he wonders how this fruit come to this prostitute. So he asks her. So she says, the charioteer gave me. So then they sent for the charioteer. Charioteer says, the queen gave it to me. So now he realizes what his brother Vikramaditya was telling was the truth. So he brings Vikramaditya back and he makes him the king and he becomes an ascetic. So see how this attraction between man and woman will bring you down. And so then after he become a saint, then he writes 100 verses on Niti and 100 verses on Vairagya. So that is what, those are the ones that is called Niti Shatakam and Vairagya Shatakam. That's what I have here. This is Niti Shatakam, this is Vairagya Shatakam. I don't have Shringara Shatakam, okay? I don't want to read that one. Okay. So in that one, Vairagya Shatakam, he writes about this incident. He says, on whom I contemplate is not passionate for me. She loves another. That whom she loves another. One whom he loves another. Refuse that woman, that man, Cupid me. So here, this verse, Nari Stanabari, it is not saying that the family life is bad, wrong. It is not. But in everything, we should have control on our emotions. So here, Adi Shankaracharya is showing the limitation of pleasures also. So we saw the limitation of what you call aparavidya, limitation of wealth, and limitation of pleasures. So now before we go to the next verse, okay, where he shows the limitation of worldly existence. But before that, let's remind ourselves why we are studying this Bhaj Govindam. Again and again, varam, okay, we have to remind ourselves. So Bhaj Govindam teaches us to look at life as a whole so that we can live a whole life also. Bhaj Govindam teaches us to re-evaluate our life and re-educate ourselves by that. So, and also he says, seek Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Bhaja doesn't mean just singing, but you have to understand what exactly is seeking. So, Bhaja could be singing, worshipping, loving, serving, all this, and also the in tune with the truth. And what is the truth? Govinda. Govinda is the truth. So this is why this Bhaja Govindam also is known as Moha Mudgara. It is hammering our wrong notions. So now let us see the fourth verse here. As I said, here Adi Shankaracharya is showing the limitation of worldly existence here. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Tadvajjivitam atishaya chapalam. Tadvajjivitam atishaya chapalam. Vidhi vyadhya vimanagrastam. Vidhi vyadhya vimanagrastam. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Tadvajjivitam atishaya chapalam. Vidhi vyadhya vimanagrastam. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So the verse meaning of this one is, the water drop on the lotus leaf is very unsteady. So also is life extremely unstable. Know that the entire world is devoured by disease and conceit and smitten with sorrow. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Vidhi, you please know, you please understand what? Jeevitam, this life, or you can say this lifespan, or you say worldly existence, Atishaya Chapalam. It is extremely fickle. It is unsteady. And this one, Adi Shankaracharya explains with a beautiful example here. So he says, Nalini Dalagata Jalam Ati Taralam. So this life is like that drop of water on the lotus leaf. Dala means it can be a leaf or also a petal. So I like dala as a leaf because that, is, you can see it properly than the water drop inside the petal of the lotus here. Okay. And this drop of water on the lotus leaf, it looks like pearl. Okay. But it is ati taralam. It is extremely unsteady. Tadvat, in the same way, our life, Jeevitam, also is extremely unsteady, extremely unpredictable. Atishaya Chapalam. One slight breeze will make that water drop fall into the water or the pond wherever that lotus plant is growing. See how many times we have heard, oh, I just spoke to him yesterday. He was fine. And today he's gone. At what time the life goes, at what time it ends, no one can predict. We just know what happens. I mean, we just don't know what happens in the next moment, what the next moment is going to bring. One of our friends' father, he died last Sunday. And how did he die? He was very, he never missed yoga in his life. In the morning, he would take a bath and do, Sandhya Vandan and all that. And then he would do yoga for 45 minutes. Never miss that. And that day also, he did the yoga and he did the Shavasana. And from Shavasana, Shiva left and he became Shava. The wife thought, how come he is still in the Shavasana? So he went and she went near him and said, why are you doing for so long Shavasana? There was no answer. When she touched, she realized Shiva is gone. You never know what happens the very next moment. So that's what he's telling. Nalini gata jalamati taralam tadvat jeevitam atishaya chapalam. So many examples we can give for this one. Think of 9/11. If, in a few minutes, thousands of people died. Whoever had thought a plane will come and hit that building? Tsunami. It was never heard of tsunami until we heard the tsunami a few years ago. Thousands were washed away. Earthquake. Last just for a few seconds, but how many thousands of people perish? So, doesn't that tell us something? It gives us a cue. This is an indication that our existence you can never predict. It is just like that water drop on that lotus leaf here. Guruji says, Vishwase nahi shwasaha kada ruddho bhavishyati. When will this breathing stops? We don't know. The breath we take in, we don't know if it is going to come out. Or the breath that comes out, we don't know whether we are going to take another one. That breath might say bye-bye, and it leaves you also. So this is, Bhagavan here, as I said, Adi Shankaracharya is showing the limitation of our worldly existence here. So it is like one Swamiji says, it is like keeping the water in a leaky pot. It slowly is going, but you are not aware of it. Only when it's completely gone, then you say, oh, all the water is gone. So Adi Shankaracharya here points out, we cannot take this life for granted. So people generally think, I can do my spiritual path, start my spiritual path after I retire. If someone says, come on, start reading the Bhagavad Gita right from young age, he will say, no, I have lots of time for that one. I will start after my retirement. But the same person, he goes and buys life insurance. Why? Because for the security of the family. So that shows that, this life is unpredictable when it comes to the family. But when it comes to the spiritual studies, he is very sure that he can start after the retirement. See, so we avoid doing the right things at the right time. That's why we have to understand how fickle is this life and how important it is to start the things at the right time here. So we say the mind works very strangely. For spiritual thing, the mind says, no, I will do it later. But for other things, oh, I should be very careful. What if I die? Who will take care of my wife and children? So anyway, so we take it for granted, we live for a long time. We always think other people die. I don't die. So we have lots of time to live here. But actually, death does not give any warning. It just comes. And there ends the matter also. It is like a ticking clock. It goes on tick, 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 tick. And when it stops, we don't know. One example I'll give you, and then I will stop here, and then we'll continue with this verse in the next class. In some of the Kali temples, they sacrifice the goat. And what do they do to the goat? First, they give a very good bath to the goat. And they put kumkum, haldi, and they tie a garland around its neck. And then they even give naivedyam. What naivedyam? Whatever the goat likes to eat. And this goat is thinking, oh, this is so great. My life is so great. But it is unaware of the death that is just behind it. So we also, when everything is going very nicely, we don't think of death. So another example you can give is the frog in the mouth of a snake. Any moment, the snake is going to swallow. But what does that frog do? It sees a flying insect. It stretches out its tongue. Even at that death time, it says, oh, it's not worried about its death. Like that, we also don't think about our death. But we always say, Every other person will die, but I will not die. So I will stop here, because if I take the next thought in this verse, I won't be able to finish it. So we will see the next verse in our next class. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone.